Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Behind the Mic, hosted by Wise Grisette. I'm your host, Wise Grisette, RPN community manager and podcast enthusiast. You all can follow me on Instagram and Twitter, formerly known as X, at The Real Wise. That's W-I-Z-E. Now, you all, please, I need you to subscribe to Behind the Mic wherever you listen to your podcast. That's Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Pandora, wherever you're listening. Please subscribe, follow, and give us a 5-star rating. We will really appreciate it. Now, this is a week that we've been waiting for since the season 2 opener, which featured Lady Denta Omoateng, founder and president of GUBA Enterprises, the GUBA Awards, and more. But on today's episode, I have the honor of sitting with the nominee of the GUBA Vanguard Award for his economic leadership. Now, if you haven't guessed it already, I am here with the governor of the Central Bank of Barbados, Dr. Kevin Greenidge. Mr. Governor, welcome to Behind the Mic.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, yes, a pleasure to have you. So this, for me, is a big interview. You are a man of incredible standing. You have incredible impact just on Barbados and the region. But of course, you are a man. So can you share a little bit about yourself today before we dive into the interview?
There's always a good start. Always a tough question also. When someone asks you, who am I? I am, as you say, a man. Let me start by saying, of course, that I'm a Barbadian, son of the soil originalist. Of course, you know, I'm a professional economist. My heart is a giver, a philanthropist, so to speak, ensuring that anyone that comes in contact with me will not leave being different.
Yeah. I'm looking to bring that difference to this podcast episode as well, too. And I'm very confident that you will, because I've heard your story and it is an exceptional one as well. But before we get into everything, let's start with some tunes. So we have this playlist on Spotify and YouTube now called B-Sides Track of the Week, where you can find all of our guests' favorite songs anytime. Now, B-side tracks to me are songs that aren't just really all that popular, but they're just as good or even better than A-side tracks. So what B-side track would you like to share with us today and why? What does it mean to you?
B-side track will be, there's a hero inside of each of us. I don't know the exact title by Mariah Carey.
Hero.
The reason for that is that it kind of is a reflection of my belief. Mm-hmm. Every human being, every one of us, irrespective of where we come from, already have that in us. You were born with a purpose and a destiny inside of us. And almost like a caterpillar has the ability to become a butterfly. It doesn't go out find and get anything to become a butterfly. It just has to become a butterfly. So each one of us is a destiny, a purpose, a hero. You are your own hero. You know, so often we are encouraged to look beyond for heroes and role models. And in some circumstances, they are not around, unfortunately. In many of our communities, depending where you come from, the role models around you are not what you want to be. Even though you don't know that. And so if you try inwards, turn to God, try inwards. Inside of you is everything you need. You just have to believe. You have to cultivate it. You have to use courage to bring it out. And if you believe that the hero lies in you, then through all circumstances, you can call on that strength that God has given you within you to rise above every single occasion and to move forward. Keep putting one step in front of the next step and the next step till you realize you cross so far in this journey. So it resonates with me in a nutshell because it's great if you have more models around you, but even then, the greatest power lies within you. That thing that tells you, I am not settling. I can't go further. I want to become an economist. I want to become a doctor. I want to become a musician. I don't see anywhere around me, but I know it's in me. I can see it freaking great. There's a hero in me.
Yeah. I'm glad you shared that song. That actually was my 5th grade graduation song. And I remember the lyrics like it was just yesterday because we were all belting it at graduation and really feeling the energy of like, yes, like we could do this. And yeah, some 20 plus years later, we definitely are here. But thank you for sharing that again. You all can find that playlist on Spotify and YouTube. It's called B-Sides Track of the Week. Now, we talked a little bit about you in front of the mic. So let's talk about the person that's behind the mic now. So let's start with your nomination and work our way backwards. So you've been awarded for leadership and economic excellence in the past, but this award nomination, this GUBA Awards nomination, specifically seems to focus on the work that you've done for the economic recovery for Barbados. So can you talk about what it means to be highlighted for something as significant as driving a better future for an entire population of people?
It's truly an honor for me, really humbling honor to imagine that my efforts has been sort of recognized, to be able to make a contribution to the country that have done so much for me. Because all through my journey, with extremely limited resources, whether it is through institution or people, persons have poured into me to become. So be able to use my skills. My story. When I was at the International Market Fund, I spent a number of years there. I was called to return home if I can. I had an option, of course, to be able to contribute to the economic recovery program. I jumped at the opportunity. It was one of those decisions that if you were to put pros and cons strictly from a logical perspective, probably would not come. Because it was it would mean a lot of hard work. And of course, probably less financial rewards as I would have had if I stayed. But it was an immediate, obvious decision because I always felt that these were the tools that were given, the gifts that were given, and here was the calling that were given for. When I was at University of West Indies, my first year, there was a visiting pastor to a church that I never went to that church before. So first time I ever went to that church. This pastor was visiting a church, so I've said that to say he didn't know him from anyone around. And he called me up, told me that he had some word for me from God. It wasn't really Christian like that, so I'm kind of like, seriously. He told me I would become a leader in this country, particularly in the field of economics and finance. And I would teach people about the principle of the mustard seed, which is investing in any area and it flourish into the biggest tree in the garden, provide their food, shelter, will cover for all the trees of all the animals in the garden and birds. And that vision of becoming, back then, I really had a vision of what I wanted to be. No one ever told me what I couldn't tell. But when he said it kind of ignited some sort of spark in me. I didn't believe in prophecy or anything, but I told you there's something in each of us, and sometimes it gets awakened by random, whatever you may think is random. So that awakens something in me. And that vision stayed with me, actually, can tell you that drove me. At that time, I was doing management studies. I switched gears to economics. I went to Central Bank and actually then I went to economics. So this is public knowledge you can go for it. I was there for a session. I went and asked, how to become an economist? How do I join? He said he did take it first. One economist from the City University, I got the first class ones. I went back to university and told me first class was the 11 I said, nah, I got to make sure that I was the only one. So I got 20 A's of the 20 courses. And I ran Central Bank. Actually, I told the world spot for me came back 2-3 years. But 20 A's, something birthed in me. The word governor didn't even exist in my vocabulary. I had no idea what it was, but for some reason, something started a little higher. And so even at Central Bank, I would then see, and I work to the governor's office and he's like great organizers. First a humble, small fella coming through, he's like, wow, this is amazing.
Yeah.
Along the path, I spent 17 and a half years at Central Bank for working there. But it birthed in me long before I left the Central Bank that I will become governor. I still like, I don't want to say like being pompous or anything, but it's a vision. I see, not they share with many people, they share with one or two close people, but people think you're kind of haughty and crazy. Keep that close.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and having all the experience of spending 7 years central bank, knowing the region, knowing the central bank, knowing economics is small islands, which is different from large early economics. Our problems is just as large, but they're more impact, right? I can tell some of that, but I with limited resources, and so I had that small island developing state mentality of economists. And then I went to IMF and I spent many years, in years I spent here, gaining experience in program designing, designing programs and experience in other countries, Africa and Asia and other parts of the world. So that when that call came, it was almost like, hey, now you have some training, work locally internationally. Now you're here. Here's the problem for you to play. Risk is here is the calling for you. So it was very easy to say, I came back. I worked with an amazing team, which is led by the Honorable Prime Minister of Barbados, Mia Nomali. She's led the team. An amazing team with some great people. So we were able to get national consultation on all the different elements. She was still often a person would say my role became more. Yes, I was able to add to these, but I think one of my greatest contribution was the connection between our program, which we call BERT, Barbados College Program, and the international community, especially the IMF, being able to speak the language of both. So I was on one side, I understood the languages, because sometimes we all want the same thing, we just don't understand what we're saying. Sometimes people speak. So that economic interpretation of bringing everything together was able to bring value. The difference is this too, is that it was more meaningful for me, more impactful, because when I was at IMF and I go to other countries in these same programs, you do it for a week, you do it for 2 weeks, you get on a plane, you head back to Washington, that's it. I want to say, yes, you have an interest in it, you start saying, but it doesn't materially hit you as much as it's your own country. It's your brother, it's your sister, it's your neighbor, it's your friend. That the policies that you are trying to put in place or you're recommending impact them directly. They impact you directly. So it has a much more gratifying effect when you see that those policies have worked and are working. We came from a very difficult position. It's well documented. You don't go through a debt crisis, no reserves, no growth, bad fiscal position. And today, all those things are behind us. We are in better position. No, we got places to go, but we are in a much better position. And just the humbling, gratifying feeling you get by knowing that you were part of such a transformation. Because beyond any financial reward you can get, this is living it. And to be recognized then as one of the persons who would have contributed to that is better than any other reward can get. And so that's what it means to me to receive such an award and recognition.
Thanks for sharing that. And I mean, honestly, like, I have to admit, and I made this assumption, so I want to just call this out, that someone that rises to the power of governor, they come from this silver spoon household, they've been taught economics their whole life and all these things. But I listened to your interview with Matthew on Gentlemen Friends, and I was completely blown away by just your story, your resilience, and like the drive towards the goals that you set for yourself. And you just spoke about one of them. But can you, say like one or two like key moments that really helped shape your path to becoming the governor of the central bank?
So you're absolutely correct. So, and interesting, I find one of the things that I have tried to do, I tell my story all the time, right? Everybody able to, I spent part of my childhood in the children's home. You talk about, a golden spoon. But my mother would always tell, we didn't even have a spoon. I don't know wood, gold, or silver. So, but the reason I tell my story, because if there's a young man, young girl, young person out there who is in a very underprivileged position, I want my story to show that you can become anything you what you believe, you can become whatsoever it is there
Yes.
and achieve. In terms of pivotal moments, there were a few along the way. And I think those pivotal moments are those moments that awaken something in you because it is always there. One of the things that we need to tell our young people more often is not the bad they're doing or what they can't achieve. Too much times they hear a person saying, this generation's lost or this is a people at risk. I don't even use those terms. I say young people have possibilities, not at risk. You need to tell young people what they can achieve. The times that were pivotal for me are the moments that I was told what I can achieve. I mentioned to you the past.
Yes.
Right. So that stayed in me for a long. It's still here, and I believe I've arrived at that point where I'm making a contribution, and ultimately I say more than what the ancestry. I'm a young man, still, young 50 That's what with somebody years ago.
Yeah.
But no, I was like 17, 15, 16, 17. Only in 17, so that was over 40 years ago.
Yes.
Right? Other pivotal moments when I was at this school, I wasn't very focused because even my history was not, I wasn't necessarily in an environment that focused a lot on education at 10.
Correct.
So I didn't initially doing very well at my school, secondary school, that's high school, USA, US. And then at one point in time, just before I booked to leave school, I had no certificates. And I said, me and my buddy look around, we said, boy, we can't leave for anything. We knew a guy who was with us and we thought he just let him, but he did really well. So saying why he got thrown out, we said, well, if he could do it, so can we.
Correct.
And we went and asked, so there's we had to look at it, we went and asked the master, well, give it another year. Not only that second year, that second chances of me. I did that at that point in time, got the highest results, I think still on record. And then we move on to another school in university. So another pivotal point is having to see that it is possible because some person that was around you achieve it. Right? And then tasting a little success. So when I first got it, I said, oh, wow, but this is possible. I can do this. And then believe in yourself piece by piece. So then I go to university. I got the ears. I told you story really central bank. And so that builds my confidence. So I start to realize now, whatever I put my mind to, I can achieve. Don't listen to nobody. If you put your mind to it, and then most of all, you got to work hard. You got to work hard. And I know if you use the Bible, it says, see a man building his ways, he will stand before kings, not hardening it. In university, West Indies, when I was at university, I didn't just get 20 years. I decided I will focus on my work. When I left Central Bank and I changed my degree to economics, fellas will go to the guild, the students union to line up Friday, have a beer or two. And you'll say, "Can you come in?" I said, "I can see when I saw you can't just know. 3 years and get paid." Because while then was reading, while then was doing that, I went to do some work. Next morning, I said, "Oh, you don't mind?" Well, watch a little movie and relax myself. People don't need to know you're striving. You don't need to know what you're doing. You just need to, you got to just do you. One of the principles of this way, my friend, is give more than a required fee. I'd rather give it to yourself, the employee, to your friend, give more. So when they're going to give an airline, I'll give in more of myself. So I'm studying. Because I have a vision. Right? Their central bank, in fact, everyone to go behind that was a very competitive position. One of the more prestigious institutions for researching work. Hundreds of people apply. What got me in, if you look at my CV, I have over 300 publications. I got those publications, articles, written work. While working at a central bank, I was doing my other work. In research decision, at least 2 papers a year. Now, if you take my 17 years and divide with 300, it was more than 2. So why would I do that? Because I work, I push it because I work. You can have a vision, But if you don't put in the work, it will just remain future. And eventually it will die. And bring this group together of farmers, central bank governors, and REF were selling before me. And when I came into my position as governor, the farmer group, colorful runners are farmer central bankers, governors, and their deputies. And the one purpose is to show honor and respect for what they have done to build the institution that I took home. And that's all it is. 4 times a year we meet, including drink, out, dinner, all kind of things.
Yeah.
One thing that our governor told me is, she said to me, one thing I still believe about me, when you were economist and that was your governor. If you never give up. If I give you something, I was 100% sure I would get it back on time. She told me, and I just didn't remember that one time she gave me something, went home, come back the next morning. I was obvious I had not left the building. I worked through the night into the morning. Because for me, I never miss a timeline. People tell you, I not miss daylights and no longer make me miss a day. And so you have to be like that. You have to be focused. Almost like a big bull to your task. Vision, perseverance, hard work. A young person, you may think that you are disadvantaged. Just say, no, you're not underprivileged, because the thing that you need to move you from where you are to where you need to be is equally distributed among every single person in life. And that is the ability to have a vision.
Yes.
Not as you have a desire. My desire, you actually zero resources, but have a desire. And you believe in it. And you work hard at where you are. Don't wait till you become government to work hard. Don't wait your dream to work hard. You work hard where you are. In that place. And God, universe, whatever you call it, will ensure, my friend, that you arrive where you're supposed to.
So the orange economy, also known as a creative industry, has been thrust into the spotlight over the last 9 months or so. I just had a conversation at this event called Africon with the Minister of Art, Culture, Tourism, and the Orange Economy for Nigeria, Minister Hannatu Musa Musawa. And she spoke about signing government-to-government MOUs to make it easier for industry players to work together because there is a partnership and direction between the governments. So as a creator and podcast studio owner on the island, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the orange economy and if there's like any economic impact for Barbados by investing in that industry.
The last part of the question is pretty straightforward. Yes, there's definitely economic impact. The orange economy on creative industries is literally have potential impact every single person, especially given that within each person there's a creative energy. Whether it's music, it's art, it's dancing, it's culture, this can impact everyone. So, and impacting the individual, impacting the family around him, his circle, him or her circle, it's no doubt your orange economy can. And I think, I gave a thought recently, and the quote I made is that between the Africa's, same Caribbean, we are very rich culturally. We are rich in talent. But we are yet to become rich from culture and to become rich from our talent. And I think that is where we, as government, as policy, and the collaboration between the African continent, the Caribbean, and the investment that is needed, investment in providing startup capital, because many young upcoming persons don't have the financing behind them, and you have to have that capital that allows you to take a bit of risk. A revolving capital that allows you to finance, that allows you to repay according to how you earn, because you can't give a loan to an entertainer who earns sporadically and expect to pay regularly. So the investment is absolutely needed. And I believe if you allow, because there's no people based, if you do that and we continue to build those connections, MOUs, etc., we strengthen that, it can become perhaps the largest contributor to economic growth and resources that we have.
Yeah, I really do think so too. And that was really great to hear from you. One final question before we go to break. I was excited to hear about this new program, BIM Pay, the National Instant Transfer System that's going to launch in 2026. So how do you think that this will help all Bajans from the unbanked to small business owners?
It's literally a transformation of financial landscape. BIM Pay is the payment system infrastructure, the backbone under our financial landscape. And it's perhaps the largest, well, it is the largest transformation we've had since we actually had a financial system. What it is about is it brings fee, efficiency, and reliability to our payments. So that within, and you're familiar with somebody who should have this strong infrastructure, you're able to build e-wallets and different apps on it that allow you to do instant transfers of payments. So from a consumer perspective, you can instantly transfer money within a few seconds, safe and secure, paying for services. So it's an option you have now. Instead of having cash, you can use digital transfer technology to pay for goods and services, etc. Small businesses, same thing. Small business now, the same orange economy will benefit tremendously from that. You're able as an artist to now send up a request for someone to pay you. You can get the transfer, they ready to use, send out a QR code. Maybe you have your shop selling some artifacts. You got your QR code, they scan it, pay you immediately. Can't do that right now. Right now, your small business, it allows you to manage your cash flow. If you come, let's say you are a designer, a cosmetologist, you come to someone, you do their nails, you don't have to wait till Monday morning or during the weekend, or to wait till money in my account. They can immediately pay you, transfer. So now that person have money there that they can go and buy the equipment and they supplies to do the next job so they can manage that cash flow. Now they have a platform of record, because many times you see persons in the orange economy, you can see persons, landscapers, gardeners, small business persons who going for finance and don't have a proper record. They've been there for the last 15 years and cutting here for 15 years. Why do we need records? Sometimes you forget because it's you managing. Now you have a structure that gives us structures. All your records are kept easily intact. So, and then you just don't lose a business. You will see someone come to your shop to buy something and you're selling some item they want. You don't have cash, they'll come back. That's a customer that you are lucky to return, because either they forget or someone down the road will offer to sale. Now you say, no worry, it got me, it's kind of paid. So it's going to be a revolutionary transformation. We put all resources behind it, but we're fully committed to doing it. And that will also allow other fintech industry, financial technological industry to spring up, offer much more services to other people on top of this platform that person benefit from directly into Cash App USA. You could Zelle USA. You got things like credit card, bring like so it will just allow it to flourish naturally. But we, as a central bank, and you had to take it easy, because given a small number of players, the investment needed, no one didn't do it. So it was division. We had to take a lead and make it happen.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. And the end of March, I'm looking forward.
March 31st, my friend.
Yes, I'm looking forward to being the first one to use it. Okay, so on the other side of this break, we're kicking it into overdrive with a rapid fire game of word association right after this. Okay, and we are back, y'all. Thanks for sticking around. So again, we're kicking it into overdrive with a rapid fire game of word association. Mr. Governor, are you ready?
I hope so.
All right, it started in 3, 2, 1. Dollar.
The strength for the Barbados dollar is not in its peg, but in its confidence and discipline that pesos leads.
Real estate.
Real estate is more than property. It's the foundation of generational wealth and community stability.
Foundations.
Any transformation, personal, national, international, rests and must rely on a foundation of value and vision.
Okay, we're done. We're done. We only got through 3. See? Not too much pressure. Not too much pressure at all. Okay, so before we end this episode, what's one thing you want people to know about you that they wouldn't get from any of your public appearances, the 300 plus publications that you've had, or anything?
No, but me, I'm a fun guy. I love to have fun. I play dominoes, I play chess, I play roll tennis, I'm a great whiskey lover of single malt whiskeys.
Yes.
So I work hard and play hard. In both directions. I'm extremist on all fronts. I like the largest. That's what it's about. It's only one way to do it.
I'm looking forward to playing one of those domino games and a game of roll tennis with you in the future.
If you want to remain friends, I know how it is.
Understood. So before we leave again, thanks for joining me. Please let the audience know where they can find you on social media to get more of the messages you have.
Well, I have an IG account. First of all, Central Bank, we have a social media page. You find lots of material from our. We do a whole thing on Experience series. It is 5-minute television series. We're in season 3, 13 episodes each season. Lots of economic information be still in there. We also have an IG page, a personal page, drkevin.greenidge, and you'll find me there. But visit Central Bank page and take it from there.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thanks for sharing that. I didn't even know about the series. I'm gonna have to go and tap in
now.
This
series, we just started season 3 on National Television every Thursday night.
Nice.
Our seasons, season 1 and 2, that is Central Bank, and I will give you a prize if you guess who is the lead star.
You.
Here you go, my prank.
Oh man, Mr. Governor, Dr. Kevin Greenidge, thank you so much again for joining me, and thank you all listeners for listening to this episode of Behind the Mic, hosted by Wise Grisette. I'm your host, Wise Grisette. You all can find me on Instagram and Twitter, formerly known as X, at The Real Wise. I'm internationally known on the microphone as Wiz, Wizzy, and Wise, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Behind the Mic, hosted by Wise Grisette, is powered by Offscript Podcast Network. Special thanks to the Indie Creative Network and Storytime Studios for editing and producing this podcast.